day, students, and welcome to day number 10 of Labmas. Now, we have a very special experiment today in which we learn a little bit about hovercrafts. Now, if you don't know what a hovercraft is, we're going to talk a little bit about it, and then we're going to go ahead and build one.
And we're here too to mess up another Labmas experiment. I don't know about you, I am so ready for this to mess up.
You know what, Dr. Doubt? The challenge is still out there. I'm still waiting for your reply. Ladies and gentlemen, we know we want Dr. Doubt in for one of these experiments. We know we can help him understand the true meaning of Labmas. Now, let's go ahead and get started with today's experiment. Now, one of the coolest vehicles that I think I've ever seen is a hovercraft. Now, if you don't know what a hovercraft is, it's a vehicle that is what we call amphibious. Much like a frog, it can live on both land and on water. Now, we know that the hovercraft's not alive, but you guys know what I meant. It can travel on land and on water. Because what it does is it uses air to lift itself up and glide across any surface. Now, one of my dreams one day is to be able to ride on a hovercraft. But until then, I think what we're going to do is just see if we can build one.
He's never gonna be able to build one in that room. How is he gonna ride it? And it's too small. He can't do it. There's no way he can build one to ride on.
No, of course, this won't be the size that we can actually ride on. This is a miniature version of a hovercraft that shows the same principles of how a hovercraft moves. Now, what we're going to be using for our materials today is going to be one of my favorite science materials out there, a balloon. We're going to be using a topper to a drink, mostly like a water bottle or a sports drink. We're going to be using a piece of cardboard. We're going to be using some glue, some duct tape, and the most important material out there, either a CD or DVD that you're not using. Now, make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that we're not using it. All right, I don't want anybody to get in trouble on Labmas. So this is going to be a CD or a DVD that we may not be using. So let's go head on over to the lab and see how these are built. So as you can see on the Science-Tron 10,000 behind me, we have a hovercraft, and right now it is gliding on water and it's about to come on to land. So what we're gonna do today is build one. Now the materials that we're gonna be using, the CD, a plastic topper to a sports drink, a piece of cardboard, some tape, and you'll probably need some glue as well. And the most important, our favorite polymer, a balloon. Woo! So to do this makes it pretty easy, but you definitely want to get parent permission and parent help because there's some things here that I'm sure they would love to build as well. So the first thing that you're going to do is you get your piece of cardboard, and now I measured my cardboard. I mean, you may have to trim it down. I probably just want to get it to be about I'd say a 2-inch by 2-inch square. All right. And now the first thing you're going to do is right in the center, you're going to poke a hole. Now, definitely, ladies and gentlemen, be safe with this because anytime we're poking things or using scissors, there is some sense of danger there, okay? So we have our hole through it. The next thing we're gonna do is hot glue or glue the bottle cap to our piece of cardboard. And I just happen to have it over there. I already put some decorative duct tape on there. So if you notice, underneath, we set it right over the hole. Now, the great thing about using these ones, and the reason why this works, is because we're able to pull it up and pull it down. Now, as you know, when we pull it down, the air is not going to get through, is it? But when we pull it up, the air is going to get through. All right, now where are we going to get that air from? Well, you already know. We're getting it from the balloon. Now, the reason why we're using air to sort of power our hovercraft is very simple. We want to create a replica or a model of how a real hovercraft flies. And remember, they can levitate or go above both water and the land. So what we're going to do is the next step is this. We're going to take our CD, and you're going to want the shiny side down. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then you're going to go ahead and make sure the hole is placed right over the hole on the CD. Then you get your duct tape, or any tape will do, and you want to create an airtight seal. And I'm going to show you that real quick. Okay, so we create an airtight seal there. Okay, so there's my first seal. Here's my next one. Now, we don't want any air to escape from underneath our cardboard, because then, ladies and gentlemen, our hovercraft will not work. So we want to make sure that we are able to seal off any chances that air may escape from underneath the cardboard. So I'm going to go ahead and place that there. I'm going to need one more piece. There we go. And I'm going to place it right there. Now, one thing, if you notice, I do have some tape coming off the ends, don't I? We want to trim that off. Now, we trim that off because we don't want any part of the tape touching the ground. Because what's going to happen? Well, it's going to slow it down. Now, already you can kind of tell it is sliding pretty easy, all right? Well, that's because I have a smooth surface right here, don't I? And a smooth surface here. Now, what we realize is this. A smooth surface on a smooth surface is not going to have a lot of friction. Now, as we remember from past videos, friction is anything that causes something to slow down, stop, or change directions. That's all law one of Newton's laws of motion. So we want to have as smooth a surface as possible, but how do we get our hovercraft to hover? Well, we take our balloon and roll it up.
There he goes again with balloons. Time for balloons. Always balloons. Doesn't he ever get tired of using the same materials?
I said we blow it up. All right. So we take that. We don't tie it off, but I am going to twist it because we don't want any air escaping. Now, you're going to want to make sure your hovercraft is in the off position. Now, off position would mean that the nozzle here is down. And then you're going to go ahead and put the balloon on your hovercraft. So now, as you can see, our balloon is on our hovercraft and it's still twisted. So I'm going to go ahead and untwist the balloon like so. And if you notice, no air's escaping, is it? Well, why is that? Well, because our nozzle's down. What is going to happen when I turn the nozzle on? Now, you can do this very easily because you can feel underneath the balloon, you can feel the nozzle right there. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up and we're going to see what happens. Ooh, it slides a lot easier now, doesn't it? Now, what's happening here is the air is escaping through the hole and it's lifting our hovercraft up. And when you ride on air, you're decreasing the amount of friction, so it's going to be able to move a lot easier. Let's take a look at this in slow motion.
We failed again. I'm so tired of every experiment working. This isn't the way it's supposed to be.
So as you just saw, the air escaped through the hole and made it a lot easier for the CD to travel because it decreased the amount of friction. Now, I still have some questions. Question number one, will this be able to float on water? Well, ideally it should, but honestly, it's more fun when it's traveling on a flat, smooth surface. Question number two, will it work on a rough surface? Probably not. Meaning this, I don't think this can create enough air pressure to lift up above, say, a carpet or dirt or gravel. So we want to keep this on a smooth surface if we're going to be testing this. And question number three, can you build more than one of these and race them? Well, absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. But the great thing about this experiment, especially for Labmas, is this. You and your family can build them, and one cool, some kind of extra thing that you could do is you could either race them or create bumper hover cars or bumper hovercrafts. All right? It is a fun activity that I encourage each and every one of you to try with parent permission and parent help. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for day number 10 of Labmas. And like I said before, the challenge is still out there, Dr. Doubt. All right? We'd love to have you here to do an experiment with us. All right?
You need to stop rushing me. I'll make my decision soon. And when I do, I'll ruin Labmas.
Well, while he's still thinking, ladies and gentlemen, you go enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you for day number 11.